Okay, so obviously you want to have some titling on your final presentation so that people have an idea what it is, who made it, and that sort of thing. Okay, so let's put some titling in here. Now with DaVinci Resolve, it's so easy. It's crazy easy. You're going to find your titles over here, and I have a find up here which I need to just delete. So here's all my titling, and they've already made a bunch of presets where you can have titles that will be they'll animate in, they'll be lower thirds, so they'll it's a lot of stuff. You experiment when you get to it. I'm just going to put in a very, very simple title just to show you how to do it. All right, so the first thing I want to do is go over my timeline, and I want to add another level. So I'll just add track. Now if I add a track, it will simply make a new track on top of the existing track. So we'll just do that. So I have a new track here. Let's get this so we can see it better. It's a new track. I'll label that title or titles. Okay. All right, now I'll come up here and I'll drag a text. What do you call that? A text block. Okay. All right, so I have a title now, and I click on the title so that it turns red. Just come up here, and I'm going to say Mandelbulb 3D Tutorial Animation. How's that? Nope. Just spell animation right. Animation. Got it. All right. I can change the color. Let's make it red just to be gaudy. All right. And I've got a drop shadow here. So let's make this 3 pixels on the X and 3 pixels on the Y. So I got a drop shadow now. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's good. Let's not make that red. That's craziness. Let's make it yellow. Okay, good. I can change the size. And I can also change the font. Right now it defaults to Open Sans regular. Let's just pick something here interesting. That's Rockwell. Here's script. Can't even read that. Let's try. Let's just go to a plain old Arial. Arial's nice and easy to read. Here we go. Here's Arial. Here's Arial Black. Arial Narrow. Arial Narrow is not really a good choice here because you got your background image is very busy. I'm going to go Arial Black. I'm going to reduce the size. All right, and if I go to settings, I'm all in the inspector right now. If I go to settings, I can adjust the Y level. I'll put it up here somewhere. All right. So that's pretty good. All right. Now I'm expanding my timeline so that I have more detail. If I pull this top corner over, I can actually have it fade in. I can have it fade in 60 seconds, 1 minute. Yeah, 1 second, sorry, 1 second. And I can have it fade out again for 1 second. And you'll see how that works. See how it faded in? And then it'll fade out, fade out. I can do that. I can do that on my animation as well. All right, I'm going to have it fade in 1 second. So let's go, I'm going to press the home key. That takes me all the way back to the far left beginning of my timeline. And so now I've got a fade on my graphic and a fade on my text. So here we go. So that comes in nice. Title fades out. All right. Let's right mouse click, add track. Let's add another track. And I am going to say, all right, I'm gonna say, okay, like that. Let's make it yellow again. Make it any color I want. Let's make it Arial, just to be consistent. There's Arial black. Okay. All right. Go to my settings. I can set the X position, the Y position. Let's get my timeline back over there. Okay, and I'm going to turn on I'm going to go to title. I'm going to turn on my drop shadow. Let's say 2 pixels, because I want all of that to be smaller. Go back to settings. Here's my X position, something like that. Now I can have that also fade in by 1 second, and then I can have everything fade out together at 1 second. Here we go. So let's see. I press the home key. There's the title. The author comes in. The title and the author fade back out, and we're in the animation. It's as simple as that. All right. And I can do that over here at the end. Now what I could do is highlight those two. I did a Control C, as in copy, put my timeline over here, do a Control V to paste, Control Victor, Control V, and now I can have these two titles that will fade back in, and then I close the entire animation this way. All right. And then, so my title's going to come in, then the author, and then everything fades out. And that's the end of the presentation. Okay? That's titling. It's very, very easy to do. Very easy to do. Let's say that I wanted somewhere in the middle here. I want, let's say I want a copyright statement. So if I pull that text in, like that. Let's just keep it white. We're going to keep it nice and small, something like this. And I could do, copyright. As a matter of fact, if you go to this, it comes with Windows. It's called Character Map. It's built into the Windows. And I'm just going to go to Arial Black, and I'm going to find the copyright symbol right here. Press it, select it, copy it. Now, if I copy the paste, Control V, into that timeline, and I'll say something like 2023, Patrick C. Cook, something like that. All right, and then I can adjust the size, come over to settings, and I can put it somewhere, maybe something like that. Fair enough. All right, put it anywhere I want, and so now I can have a fade in. Let's fade it in a half a second, 0.30. All right, like that. 29 is good enough. All right, now the copyright fades in right here. Okay, and then fades out. So that's just using simple titling. All right, so we're out of time on this particular session, but that is basically how you put in text And down in here, you've got various animations, matter of fact, you can kind of see it kind of doing a little preview. There's all kinds of different text insertions you can do with effects that have already been defined and designed. It's pretty good, pretty good. All I've done here is I've shown you the most basic text block that it comes along with DaVinci Resolve. So it's that easy. All right, move them around, whatever you want. Copy them, copy, paste. All right, whatever you want to do. It's all there. Okay. Next session, let me show you how to pull in more frames that have been rendered, and I'll show you how to include those frames as you move towards this whole all of the subframes being rendered out. I'll see you in the next session.